Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about ways that you can protect your mindset and your energy from people, from ideas or belief systems that you do not want to believe, from people who may not have the best intention for you, like just everything, like how to protect yourself as you are on the journey to becoming, as you are forgetting your past self and creating your new self. You have to protect yourself because when you are in creation mode and you are doing all the things to create a new version for yourself, like a new identity for yourself, it's not going to be 100% solid, right? Because you are still like getting rid of old beliefs and you're creating new beliefs for yourself. And the new beliefs that you have for yourself may not be 100% solid because they're new. You're practicing showing up being somebody else. So it's not solid yet. It's in the creation phase, in the building phase. Like it's being molded, right? And so you want to protect your like sculpture or whatever you want to call it. You want to protect yourself because as you're creating something new, like I said, it may not be as solid as the beliefs that you've been practicing for like decades that are not serving you anymore. The new things are a little bit more fragile, right? The new habits, the new behaviors, the new beliefs, like all the new things, right? So you want to protect yourself. And then even when they get solid, you still want to protect yourself, okay? So this is what I do. So first thing, way that I protect myself is by challenging all belief systems and ideas and not believing everything that somebody tells me. This is huge, okay? If you are somebody who is just going to believe what people say because they said it, maybe it's somebody who you really respect. Maybe it's an elder in your family. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe it's a spouse or a best friend. Like sometimes we have authority figures, or even maybe they're not even authority figures, but just people in our life that we have a lot of respect for. It doesn't mean that they know everything, okay? You know who knows everything? Nobody. God knows everything, okay? You ultimately know what's best for you in your life. And so whenever I have new ideas or beliefs being shared with me, I treat it as if I'm at a store and I'm trying on a dress. Like you're at a mall, you're at a shopping store, you're doing some shopping, and you look at an outfit, you look at this dress, it's kind of cute, it's pink, it's sparkly, but we don't know if it looks good on us yet until we try it on. So we try it on, we go in the dressing room, we look in the mirror, and we see if it fits. So that is how I approach belief system and new ideas. Is I don't just believe things because people say them, even if it's somebody who I've agreed with. This is really important. Even if it's somebody where you've agreed with most of the things they've said before. This has been really tricky in my life where I have mentors who I respect, who I love, who I look up to, and I agree with like 90%, 95, 99% of all the things they're saying. And then this one thing that they say, I'm like, oh, but no, because at the end of the day, we're all on an individual journey. We are all on our own divine path, and you ultimately know what's best for you in your life and what you need to believe in order to become the person that you are cultivating, all right? And I say, you know what you need to believe because it's so important to be selective and choose your belief systems, okay? When we're born into our community, into our family, we don't get to choose necessarily our belief systems because they've been given to us by our people around us, by our tribe, by our community, by our family. But as we become conscious adults and we start to do our inner work and we start to want more from life and achieve our goals, we have to understand that we need to consciously choose the things that we want to believe. You get to choose and decide belief systems that you want to believe based off of the outcome and the goal that you have, because every belief creates a specific outcome. Every belief, thought idea is going to create a different outcome. And so make sure it's an attractive outcome and it matches the vision that you have for your life. And just because they said it doesn't mean that it's true. Even if it's a man, like that's a huge thing for women, like authority figures. If it's like, I don't know, like name any authority figure you want. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're right. You ultimately know what's right for you. The next way that I protect my mindset, my belief system, my energy is I do not overshare with people, okay? This is definitely a practice and not like a light bulb switch. The reason why I have trained myself to share less and less with people, like me in my early 20s, I just would like as soon as I meet somebody, a new friend or whatever, the second, third meeting, I'm like telling them everything about myself. And you don't want to do that because you don't want to expose yourself. And what would happen to me, like years ago when I used to do this in my past life, is that I would overshare with people, but I would be doing that because I was trying to connect with people. So I used oversharing as a form of connection. And then also, I would feel pressured into oversharing with somebody if they were oversharing with me. And I remember the day that I stopped this, when I was at dinner with a few friends and my friend was sharing like one of the most vulnerable things you can share with people over dinner. And I felt so compelled to like, well, this really bad thing happened to me too, to kind of like try to make her feel better. And I'm so glad that like I didn't do that, because I was just trying to like make her feel better by exploiting myself instead of actually comforting her. Like, it's crazy. But when you overshare with people who do not have good intention, whether that be consciously or unconsciously, some people don't know that they're doing this. What it was doing to me is I was giving them like ammunition to harm me. So a lot of the times when you're oversharing with people, it ends up being a negative and toxic dynamic anyway, because people who want you to overshare, these are not healthy people. Like when I would be like, previously when people would overshare with me, I was not a healthy person. Meaning I was addicted to drama, I loved gossiping, I loved talking about people, so when people would overshare with me, I would just eat it up. Now when people overshare with me, I'm not receptive to that. It's a turnoff to me. So I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm actually I don't make the situation awkward, but I'm just like I'm not fueling what they want. Like, I feel like a lot of people who overshare, they're in this like drama energy, and I don't have that energy to give. So it's kind of like they're squeezing a dry lemon. It's like they're trying to squeeze a dry, but like there's nothing that you're gonna like pull out for me. So those dynamics tend to be unhealthy anyway. And also when you overshare with people, it can harm the things that you were trying to manifest, okay? Because when we're oversharing with people, specifically I'm talking about new things that we're building. Like, let's say, for example, like I remember years ago telling a friend that I was gonna hit 100,000 followers on social media. And at the time, I didn't really believe it either, because it was just something crazy that I wanted to happen. And I remember her saying, well, how are you going to do that? And so what happened was, not that other people can manifest for you. I don't believe that. I think that the energy that you give out is your energy and it comes back to you. But what happened is that it fueled the limiting belief that I already had. It was proving right the limiting belief that I already had, that it's not possible. And so I believed it even more. So you don't want to share the things that you are building or creating, or like your crazy wild dreams that you probably don't even believe it's possible right now either. You just kind of want it and you see other people have it, but you don't know if it's possible for yourself. You don't want to share those things because you don't need other people's limiting beliefs on top of your already limiting beliefs. You know what I mean? It's like you're adding fuel to the fire. Like you are already having to work through your limiting beliefs around this thing, and then you're gonna have someone else's limiting beliefs on top of that. Like, so just learn to be quiet, learn to keep to yourself. Not that you can't share anything with anyone ever, but I think there's an appropriateness to it. And make sure that when you are sharing with people, you're sharing with people who have earned your trust. You're sharing with people who have proven to like there are certain people in my life, like my best friend is one of these people where I could tell her like my wildest dream and she's like, duh. Like, so like they have to have proven themselves. If they haven't proven themselves for you, you're basically opening yourself up to, like, there's no boundary. You have no wall of protection around yourself. You're just kind of like letting anyone kind of like violate you energetically. So I save those things for people who have a proven track record, who have proven themselves to me, who are trustworthy because there's a history of trust. And that is what you want to do as well. The next way that I protect my energy, and this is probably one of the most powerful ways, is by watching what I am consuming. So I'm really sensitive to the kind of TV shows, media, social media, music, books, podcasts, you name it, even food, even spending time with certain people. I'm very cautious of what I am consuming, what I'm allowing to come into my mind. The ears are really important. The ears and the eyes are so important in manifestation. And let me explain, because it probably doesn't make sense. But the reason why I say that is because what you hear and what you see, I notice, at least in my life, that is how the subconscious is programmed, by what you are seeing and what you are hearing. So if you are hearing people either in a movie, in music, in a room that you're in, talking about like negative things, how like life is so hard, and like just like things that are not going to be in alignment with the thing that you're trying to create, with the new life and identity you're trying to create, that is how your subconscious is programmed, and you will start to pick up on that. And also with your eyes, if you're always seeing, like if you're a girl and you grew up like seeing like men hurting women, and that's all you saw from like all the women in your family, right? You were seeing that, you were hearing them say negative things about women. That's going to create belief systems that you do not want. So be really cautious of the things that it's like one of the most important things that you can do, because it's slowly shaping your subconscious, okay? In one of my favorite books, The Science of Getting Rich, he talks about how you should ignore poverty. He says that you should forget about the poor, and it sounds like for like a typical average person, they're gonna get triggered by this, but people who watch my content are not gonna get triggered by this. But he says how, like, forget all things poverty, don't try to understand it, don't sympathize with it, just like focus on riches, focus on abundance, focus on getting rich, focus on wealth, focus on money. He said you cannot create the thing you want to create by focusing on the opposite. He says you have to focus on the thing to create the thing. Focusing on the opposite creates the opposite, right? So it is the same thing with what you're consuming. So it's about focusing, putting all your focus, all your attention onto the things that you want. And literally today, I made like a gratitude list, like in my mind. Like when I woke up, I was like, I think I named, like in my head, like I do this, like sometimes I write it, sometimes I do it in my head. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, how many things can I count that I'm grateful for? And I just started like created like a list of like 30 things. I was like, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for my roof, for my car, for my food, for my fridge. And I just started making this really, really long list. And all of a sudden, when I got out of bed, I felt like $1,000,000. Like I felt so happy because I was in a state of like receiving and like having and like overflow rather than lack. So that is a little hack as well. But the things that you are consuming is going to shift your perspective. It's going to change the way that you think about things. It's going to shift your perspective. It's going to alter your focus and alter your perception. So you want to listen to things that are in alignment with the person that you're becoming, like positive things, abundance, love. You want to watch movies where people are falling in love. You want to listen to audios of people who are successful and who made it, who are making tons of money. You want to fill up your field with happy people, with abundant people, because you are not going to save the world by being miserable, depressed, broke, overweight, and living your worst life. I said this in a podcast episode that I don't know if I posted yet, but I said how your greatest gift to humanity is becoming your best self and healing. The most important thing that you can do that's going to help other people is by being your highest self, by being the happiest, richest, grateful, loved version, all the things like love, money, health, success, friendship, abundance, travel, like everything that you want. That is how you actually make an impact in the world, is by being the example, is by being the frequency in that. You're not going to help other people by suffering with them. I think that is such like a misconception, is that we think that in order to have empathy, in order to help others, we have to see through their perspective. We have to come down to them. We have to see their experience. And like, people who want you to do this are miserable, and they're going to literally drown you. They're going to drown you with them. That is so backwards and so disgusting how most of the world wants, like, this is honestly how, like, most, and this is how I used to think too. It's like, even like when you watch like politics, and like, I don't even watch politics, but like when I used to, it's like people want you to come down to their level so you can see how hard they have it, and you can see how miserable it is, and it's not fair. And those people, like, you just have to ignore them. You just have to allow them to be in their suffering, because they're exactly where they want to be. And I said this quote one time to my friend, where you have to be happy for people no matter where they are, because I'm so happy that you've chosen to live your life exactly the way that you wanted to. You have to allow people the freedom of choice to live their life in alignment with what they feel. And if that's misery, then so be it. So anyway, you guys, that is the video. I'm like 18 minutes. So yeah, this was a very long video. I'm super happy that you watched this to the end. If you did, leave me a comment. Love you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.